Hey everybody, this is John Franklin Reviewer, and I am back doing a Nightmare on Elm Street film series here. Okay, this will be some spoilers, so you've been warned here. Now let's get right into it here. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Okay, so what exactly is this about? Another family that goes into Nancy's old house here, and Freddy terrorizes this character named Jesse, who wants him to actually kill for him, which to me doesn't make any sense. But we'll get to that anyways. So, what is it that I actually liked about this film? That was the way it starts off. I liked the whole thing with the kids on the school bus there. Robert Englund's actually playing the bus driver. I thought was really cool there, especially because not too long into it, he turns into Freddy, so I think it works out than just having some other bus driver on there and then just bring in Robert Englund later. The beginning of this movie is very scary. Probably one of the few times I will say this movie in my mind is actually still scary. Another thing I really do enjoy about it is a character named Lisa. She almost looks like Meryl Streep to a point there. She's the love interest. I think she does really good, and I feel like every time that she's on screen, she definitely commands the screen. Her emotions are all over the place, but does it very well. And another thing I really think is really cool here, and I think a lot of people will agree with this here, is the whole thing with Freddy coming out of Jesse's body. That was really cool, and then killing the other football jock or whatever. So you had your main character in this other guy's bedroom here, and Freddy ends up coming out and killing this guy, and I thought, again, blaming Jesse and all. Okay, now on to the dislikes here. So what is it that I really didn't like about this movie? Whew. So there's going to be a long list here, people, so a little warning here. Let's start with the acting. Okay, let's start with Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger. Yes, he had some scary moments, as I mentioned at the beginning of the pauses with the bus, but the rest of it, it just didn't feel, to me, it did not feel like a Freddy Krueger movie where a lot of people complain about Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. I disagree. I really didn't think he was scary most of this movie here. Definitely was not happy when they changed the roles already from the first one to this one with him coming into the real world. He's a dream demon, so he's supposed to kill you in your dreams, not just come in reality unless he gets pulled in, like the whole thing with Nancy in the first one, and then other ones that happened in some of the other sequels here too. So I really didn't like that. I didn't like Freddy Krueger's makeup and all that. Everything about Robert Englund, I'm sorry, I was very disappointed in. And people might hate me for saying that, but I'm being honest. This has always been a boring movie more than all the other ones, surprisingly. Yes, worse than even like the remake and Freddy's Dead. If you saw my ranking, you already know where I have all these places. If you haven't, go back and check it out for sure. But I mean, just nothing about Freddy Krueger in this. You know, the whole, maybe him ripping off the top of his head and showing the brain, yeah, that's fine. Jesse, you know, our hero, or supposedly hero, such a wimp in this movie. I really wasn't thrilled with him, honestly, in here. Never really liked anything about this character. I feel bad for him, you know, because this was really the only movie he's ever acted in, and he ended up refusing to ever do this here. Just because I think the whole thing with the gay undertone, which I don't think they went that way. I mean, there's one scene where your main character goes to an S&M bar and all that there, and who do they find? The gym teacher and all that there. Which made no sense, where the gym teacher catches him gonna have a bear, sends him to school and make him do laps and all that there. So that made no sense instead of just calling the parents. Again, script. You know, for me, a lot of script issues, of course. And of course, they did kind of push this movie because the first one did so well that they wanted to get a franchise out of this, and they hurried this one up literally almost exactly a year from the first one to this one here. The death scenes, talking about like the gym teacher and all that there. I didn't really care for what happened to him, and even before it happens in his office with all the balls being thrown at him and all that there, and then him being dragged to the shower and invisible Freddy like snapping towels at his butt and all that. Just wasn't my, again, this whole movie's never really been my cup of tea of all the Freddys, unfortunately. There was even a scene where there's an exploding parrot, which made no sense. It almost felt like kind of like an exorcist or something, almost like a little haunted house. The parents, I don't know, the mother was okay, the sister was decent, the father was just, I don't know, just an idiot, honestly. I didn't really care for him at all. I guess he was a typical 80s dad. I didn't care for Lisa's parents or her, guest at the pool party. Almost this whole movie, to me, is just I sit there and watch it with a blank stare and like, really, this is what we got. This is what we got for our 90-minute movie. Why would Freddy ask Jesse to kill for him? He never needed a partner in any other ones from the first one to the third one on. Well, if you kind of want to say that to a point, he had a Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason as a partner, but technically Jason was trying to kill him too at the end because Freddy was trying to kill him. So, not really, but it just made no sense that he would use Jesse as a pawn, as a minion or anything like that to, what? Spread his own fear kind of thing. So that's why this whole story, whole script doesn't make any sense to me. I felt like they could have gave themselves another year, came out in 86 instead of 85, and changed the script a lot more than what they gave us, unfortunately, there. Then the whole thing with going into Act 3, Lisa was going into the boiler room where Freddy Krueger used to work before he got all burned and all that. What was the whole thing with the human baby faces on these Rottweilers or anything guarding the boiler room? Again, made no sense to me. So with Freddy, he was such a wimp, the way that he actually dies. And there's a few other times he kind of goes out, not as good, unfortunately, but better than this one, I gotta be honest here, where pretty much Lisa kisses him, catches herself on fire, he crumbled, there's Jesse again. I wasn't too thrilled with how that went there, and of course, one of the worst open endings in a horror movie there, where they're on the bus and Lisa's friend, is talking about it's all over, everything's okay and all that there, and then Freddy's hand and arm comes out of her chest, and that's pretty much how it ends there. Not really a fan of this one, so my rating on this is going to be a half a star out of 4. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that are fans of this. I don't know if you'll be able to change my mind at all here. But I'll be kind of curious what your opinion is about what I thought about the movie. What do you think about Freddy's Dead here? Give me a comment down below. I'll be kind of curious. But if you did like this video and not too upset with me, please like, please subscribe. Hit that bell for the notification there. You'll get future reviews with the rest of my Nightmare on Elm Streets and all that there. So thank you guys so much for watching this video here. And as always, stay awesome.